Warning: this video, blog, or vlog could contain harsh opinions and foul language. If you do not appreciate said content or material, well, you can just fuck right off. Greetings, internet people. RantingRamsay here. I'm going to warn you now, this is going to be a long video, so go ahead and pause it right now. Grab yourself a soda or a beer, maybe some chips, something to munch on, because this is going to take a fucking minute. And what we're talking about today, as you can see by the title up there if you're watching it on YouTube's random video page, or down there if you're watching it on my channel, is we're talking about Freegans. If you have never heard of Freegans, then you are exactly like me, circa about 45 minutes ago. I was completely and totally unaware of this thing called Freeganism until, while stumbling, I was brought to their main page, their About Freeganism page, or whatever. Out of abject curiosity, I read it. Absolutely fucking asinine. And let me tell you why. I'm going to pick this shit apart. I'm going to provide references. Freegans are fucking insane. I've got a lot of points written out here. I've got a lot of things that I want to talk to you about. We're going to go through it one by one. So, let's get right the fuck into it. Basically, my opening statement. Freegans, there has never, ever has there been a more self-righteous group of people operating under the guise of benevolence and just a general vibe of, I'm better than you. These people are also hypocrites of one of the highest orders, and I will justify that statement. Now, the first link you're going to find in the description is the actual link to the friggin' about info whatever page that I read that inspired me to go ahead and make this video. So, we begin by exploring the main page of their website, main as I found it, and reading the basic tenets / ideas of Freeganism as described by them under the header, What is Freeganism? In a nutshell, Freeganism is dumpster diving and refusing to spend money on basic retail items of all varieties, clothes, food, you name it. All of this is done with an air of smugness I haven't heard about since the hybrid craze. All of us remember the smug episode of South Park. Seems extremely relevant here. One of the problems I have with this is that it's presented under the guise of wanting to, quote, improve the world by reducing the dependency on corporations which they, the Freegans, believe have basically a negative impact on our society by encouraging a wasteful society which uses sweatshop labor and other nefarious practices. But wait, there's a few problems with how they present themselves. And I quote from their website, linked in the first link in the description, lots of used items can also be found for free or shared with others on websites like FreeCycle and in the free section of your local Craigslist. To dispose of useful materials, check out the EPA's Materials and Waste Exchanges directory on the internet. Wait, just one fucking minute. Even though these people will most definitely claim that they are using a reclaimed computer to surf the web, they're still, number one, paying the communications company for internet service. The problem with this is that these communication companies are just as quote-unquote guilty of rights violations as companies like Nike and Mattel, which are known to utilize or have depended heavily in the past on sweatshop labor. Remember, this is one of the things that Freegans are fighting against. Sprint, for example, is known to share its customers' GPS locations data with just about any law enforcement or government agency that asks for it. No questions asked. The proof that I found for this is linked in the second link in the description. AT&T did pretty much the same exact thing back in 2006. The proof that I found for this is linked in the third article in the description. The fact is, just about every communications company is willing to share the information of its customers with any government agency that asks for it. Why this is apocryphal to the Freegan cause, they claim to only want to spend money on second-hand goods to make sure that the larger corporations who they feel are evil, for lack of a better term, yet they are willing to support some of the largest corporations on the planet simply for internet access. That is hypocrisy. But wait, there's more! Number two. Number two. Don't they need to power that computer somehow? Of course they do! Which means they also support and pay money to the power/electricity companies. The problem with this, most people at this point do indeed know, they simply choose to ignore, that the vast majority of electrical power in the United States comes from the consumption, burning, of fossil fuels, which release a very significant amount of carbon dioxide and other gases and chemicals that are harmful to human existence and other life into the air, and has an overall effect on the health of the residents and wildlife near these power plants. Statistics for the general output of carbon dioxide can be found in the fourth link in the description. Why this is apocryphal of Freegans. Power providing companies are some of the most profitable companies on the face of the planet, ignoring tech companies, of course, but we've already covered that in the previous point, somewhat. The methods used to extract the fuels that are burned to create the power are extremely invasive to our environment. But I guess that doesn't fucking matter, because it doesn't directly affect people, does it? Of course not! Who cares if a beautiful, scenic, sometimes tree-covered mountain is defiled and turned into a barren wasteland as long as we get some motherfucking power? It doesn't matter that these power companies will crush opposing providers whenever possible, and in most places you have a choice of one, count it, one motherfucking provider and one provider only. Is that not, in basic terms, a monopoly? Evil corporations. Isn't that what the Freegans are fighting against? Does it not produce enormous amounts of waste, some of which is toxic and detrimental to any form of life of which it comes into contact. Is this not what you Freegans claim to be fighting against? The really fun part came when I came across, while researching this rant, the 5th article linked in the description. So, if these people are really using a quote-unquote recycled PC, they're really just creating more of a problem, as outlined in point 2. If you read the 5th linked article, you understand the point of what I just said. They are creating a dependency on a completely different industry, the power/electricity providing industry, in their efforts to be superior to us consumers. Tasty fucking irony. To keep money away from one corporation, they're giving even more money than necessary to a different corporation. You silly fucking Freegans? Are you that fucking stupid? The next point they come to in the description of Freeganism is eco-friendly transportation. Basically, they say that Freegans choose not to use cars, quote, for the most part, which means except when it's exceedingly convenient for me and it doesn't want to seem like hypocrisy. Fucking jackass. For many reasons, they continue, we shall defeat this hypocrisy in order of appearance on their page. Number 1, they say cars cause pollution. Well, yes. We all know this, unless we live under a rock or are some fucking fundamentalist stupid fucking asshole that denies science. Anyway, I'm sorry. It's hard to stay on track. This shit's got me so fucking riled up. Anyway, they say the cars cause pollution. Yes, we all know this. But the power plants cause much more pollution, save of course for green power like wind, solar, and hydroelectric, obviously, than do the automobiles. Remember the computer that you fucking Freegans used for your sweet free swap meets and other, to create your own fucking website? Fucking duh. It had to be powered somehow. Number 2, roads result in the clearing of forests to make room for them. As discussed, the industry that provides the power for the PC which you morons use to create your fucking website destroys far more natural resources than the buildings of roads ever could. Also, an addendum, 70%, according to the 6th link article in the description of the website, of the domestic goods of the United States are shipped by big rigs, otherwise known as semis. In other words, 7 out of the 10 things you buy or use in the U.S. are driven from point A to point B. Of course, the Freegans are against this concept as well, but are too blindly hypocritical to realize that it means that their computer, the one they use to design and view the web page, sorry, still can't get over that bit, was shipped via ground freight. Yes! Even if it's an ineffective, detrimental, recycled computer, it still has to be shipped by ground freight at some fucking point, which necessitates the fucking roads that run from one point to others all the way across the fucking country that these people are so adamantly against. Point is, shipping is... this shipping requires a road, and even if they are unwilling to admit it, all Freegans utilize and probably even depend on products that have, at one point in time, been ground shipped via large truck of some variety. Moving on, the next point they make is that they think housing is a human right. So they encourage squatting. They have a right to live in a house that someone else built without paying for the time, effort, and materials it took to build said house. The website claims that squatters, and I fucking quote, squatters are people who occupy and rehabilitate abandoned, decrepit buildings. Seriously? When was the last fucking time you heard about a squatter refurbishing a dilapidated fucking home? They fucking don't. Quit fucking lying to us, you freaking fucks. Squatters, to continue, squatters believe that the real human needs are more important than abstract notions of private property, and that those who hold deeds to buildings but won't allow people to live in them, even in places where housing is vitally needed, don't deserve to own these buildings. In other words, you fucking Freegans are saying, I'm too fucking lazy to work enough to earn enough money to pay rent, which we'll get to later in a few minutes, so I claim to believe that you have no right to charge me money to live in the abode that you have at some time in some way either paid for, to have built, or bought fair and fucking square. I, as a Freegan, deserve to have a comfortable place to live, but I refuse to pay for it because money is stupid. Oh shit, I need to pay my internet bill. They continue to say, in addition to living areas, squatters often convert abandoned buildings into community centers with programs including art activities for children, environmental education, meetings of community organizations, and more. Fucking bullshit! I fucking call bullshit! It is absolute fucking bullshit. When was the last fucking time you heard about a squatter turning an abandoned building into something fucking useful? Oh, right, you fucking haven't, because it doesn't fucking happen. The reality of the situation is, whenever you find a dilapidated building that's been turned into something useful to the community, most of the percent of the time, it's your fucking tax dollars that do that. If it's not your tax dollars, it's an independent corporation which decided to spend the money to give, even if something infinitesimally small, back to the community which it is raping. The point is, the fucking freeloading bullshit-ass squatters are not the ones to do these good works. They never have been, they never will be, no matter how much you fucking Freegans want to claim that it is. Squatting is not some act of benevolent rebellion. It's lazy, self-entitled bullshit, and an effort to avoid taking societal responsibility for yourself, and or giving credence to the people who bothered to build a fucking house for you in the first place, you lazy fucking bitch! We're going to skip the Going Green part of their website for two reasons. Number one, going green actually is a decent idea. I don't care how you feel about it, it is a decent fucking idea. However, number two, when it's used under the guise of some imaginarily benevolent cause as an excuse to not have to pay for things, well, I've got a 40 cal projectile with your name etched on the hydropointed copper jacket, motherfucker. Finally, we come to the end of this insipid, mind-numbing, ignorant, malignant fucking webpage. Simultaneously, we find the root of the problem of these fucking asinine assholes. Summarized. They don't want to be a functioning part of society because they're too fucking lazy to do their part and commit to a hard day's fucking work. That's right. We're a society that depends on the work of others. Everything you enjoy in life was produced by someone else's hard fucking work at some point. This computer, the internet, the food you fucking eat, the video games you play, the clothes you wear, the shoes you put on your fucking feet. Every fucking thing you use was produced by someone else's hard work. If you can't wrap your mind around that, go shoot yourself in the fucking head right the fuck now. Nut the fuck up, you freaking pussy bitches. Another quote from their website. By accounting for the basic necessities of food, clothing, housing, furniture, and transportation without spending a dime, Freegans are able to greatly reduce or altogether eliminate the need to constantly be employed. We can instead devote our time to caring for our families, which you can't afford to fucking feed except for someone else's fucking dumpster. Volunteering in our communities, which you can't fucking do because you're too busy having to search for food in a fucking dumpster because you won't fucking pay for it. And joining activist groups to fight the practices of the corporations who would otherwise be bossing us around at work. While you post this on the fucking internet while paying for your internet service to whom? A fucking corporation! The basic translation of this, people, is that these lazy fucks want to reap the benefit of living in a cooperative society without having to contribute. There are words for these kind of people. Freeloaders, lazy fucks, leeches, useless sacks of human fucking excrement. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that corporations are good, right, or even ethical. But these people are just fucking stupid, insipid, and asinine. It is a classic example of taking good thought, a good idea, and going about it completely and totally the wrong fucking way. Yes, we should all take steps to reduce the power and influence of corporations. That's no fucking mystery to anyone with a brain in their fucking head. These corporations are the ones who make the decisions for our fucking government. If you don't understand how that works, go read a fucking news article sometime. However, these lazy-ass Freegans are going about it in a completely hypocritical, ill-conceived, dumb, fucked way. Freegans, you're no better than the rest of us that consume. In fact, you're fucking worse because you want something for nothing without contributing anything of worth, value, or lasting significance to society. You are freeloaders. You're the guy on the fucking couch. Fuck you. I'm RantingRamsay. That is all.
Hey, did you get all that, man?